Hello everyone and welcome to this lecture of strength of material. Today we will study axial deformation of bars. A structural member which is subjected to axial force is normally defined as the bar. For the same structural member, if the direction of the load becomes transverse, the same member can be considered as the beam. So here I am showing a simple bar where I have applied two axial force and this member is fixed to left side. In addition to simple bar, we have composite bars where the bars may be connected in parallel arrangement or in series arrangement. Here I am showing a block which is a representation of a concrete block where this outer material is representing the matrix and these four black dots are actually representing your steel rods. If I will apply certain load here, the member will subjected to some deformation, stresses will be there, and that can be calculated by considering the system as the bar in parallel arrangement. The second picture is showing bars in series connection where bars are connected side by side. So let's start with the bars in series connection. At this point, we should also understand one very interesting concept, that is the statically determinate and indeterminate structure. And let's try to understand this by considering these two cases. So in the first case, I am showing two bars connected in series and I have applied two forces F1 and F2. And I want to calculate this reaction R here. How I can do so? For that, first I have to make the free body diagram of this system. So let's start with the free body diagram. This is the larger section and let's consider that the left side is subjected to a force R. I can consider the equal and opposite force on the other side. This R is actually an action reaction because of the next member. So I have to apply one R force here, and in addition to this R, I can apply this F2. If you are having some problem in making this free body diagram, I will request to go and check my initial videos where we have taken such problems exclusively to make the free body diagrams. On the other side, I can make the equal and opposite force. So this side, the forces may be R plus F2, or I can say that I can put this force F1 because it is there. So instead of R plus F2, I can also put this force F1. If I will write the equation for this system, the first member is having R, but for the second member I will get that R plus F2 is going to be balanced by F1. That means my R will be what? R will be F1 minus F2. If I know F1 and F2, I will be able to calculate the reaction R here. Now let's see the second problem. Here the block is fixed from both the side. So in that case there will be two reaction. Let's consider that this is my reaction R1 and this is my reaction R2. Let's make the free body diagram of this second case. So here I can apply a reacting force R1. So equal and opposite will act here. So this is my R1. Similarly I can apply R1 plus the second force, this is F. Similarly, I can apply equal and opposite force here. So that is R1 plus F, or I can say that this is nothing but my reaction R2. So when I will write the equation for the second case, this second free body diagram will tell me that R1 plus F is going to be balanced by R2. That means I have two unknowns in my equation, and this equation is not sufficient to tell me the two unknowns. So now what we can conclude from these two cases. In the first case, we have considered that the system is in static equilibrium and the law of statics. Law of statics means we can just balance the forces and we will get the unknowns. But in the second case, the system is in equilibrium, but the law of statics is not sufficient to give the unknowns. In addition to the force balance, we have to add an additional equation. And what would be that? In case of the bars in series connection, we know that the total length of the system will not change. However, one of the bar is going to subject contraction. On the other hand, this bar is going to extend the length. That means the individual change in length exists there, but net change in length will be zero. So I can write one equation from the deformation of my system. That will be what? That will be total change in length will be zero. but it will be an algebraic sum of L1 plus L2. So now I have two equations, one from the force balance and the second from the deformation. And as I have seen here that the first member is subjected to force R1, so I can write the change in length for the first member, that will be what? Force into the length of the member divided by the cross section area and elastic constant. Similarly, for the second member, I can write considering R1 plus F as force. So my change in length will become what? Change in length will be R1 plus F multiplied by L2 divided by A2 E2. So when I will put this del L1 and del L2 in this equation, second equation, I will get relation between R1 and R2, or I will get value of R1, and that I can use to get the value of R2. So for the second case, the law of statics or the force balance equations are not sufficient to get the unknowns, and we have to add another equation, that is from deformation. So the second structures are considered as the statically indeterminate structure. However, the first one is considered as the statically determinate structure. The same can be seen in case of beams. For example, if I am having a simply supported beam, the one end will be the pin end, another end will be a roller end. So there will be actually three reaction, and if I will write the equation for the horizontal vertical force balance as well as the moment balance, I will be able to get the three unknowns. So this would be my three equation, two force balance, one moment balance, which will give me all the three unknowns. If I will replace this roller joint with a pin joint, that means the new bar will have, let this is the force acting here, F, same force is acting here, but now I have, this is a pin joint, this is also a pin joint. So when I will make the free body diagram of this bar, there will be four unknowns, two at this end and two at this end. So my equation of static equilibrium will not be sufficient to tell me the value of all the unknowns, because there are four unknowns and these equations will give me the three equation. Therefore, we have to add another equation that would be the deformation equation or something else. So the second structure considered as the statically indeterminate. However, the first one is the statically determinate. So let's solve one problem of statically indeterminate structure, because such problems are expected in GATE exam. The first kind of problem we have already solved in our previous lecture. So here focus for the second kind of problem. Here I am showing a problem which was asked in one of the exam. Here I am having a continuous bar and I have applied two forces. The section shows the length 100 mm, 200 mm and 300 mm, and we have to find the reaction at end A and B. So let's consider that here I am having a reaction RA and here I am having a reaction RB. Then I have to make the free body diagram of the three sections. So start with the left one. As this is RA, I can write equal and opposite force on the other side. So it will again RA. For the second body, this equal and opposite RA will act here. In addition to this RA, I have to add the 13.6 Newton force. So this 13.6 will come here. On the other side, I can start from the third member, so the problem will become more easy. Here also I can make that this will be RB. So equal and opposite RB will act here. This will again be here. So this is RB, and in addition to this RB, there will be this 27.2 Newton force. These are the three free body diagrams, and from this second free body diagram, I can write that my RA minus 13.6 is going to be balanced by RB plus 27.2. My one equation which I have calculated considering the free body diagram. But here I am having two unknowns, therefore I cannot get the absolute value of these two unknown, and I have to add another equation which will be my deformation equation. So I know that the net deformation of this structure will be 0, but there will be individual deformation. So the sum of the three deformation will be 0, and for individual free body diagram I can write the equation for these three deformation. So for the first one, my deformation will become RA, then 100 mm divided by the cross section area and elastic constant. For the second member, I can consider Ra minus 13.6 or Rb plus 27.2, any of the force. So let's consider the force is Ra minus 13.6 into the length, that is 200 mm AE. For the third member, it will be Rb into 300 divided by AE, and then I can consider that the summation of these three will be 0. So this is my first equation and this would be my second equation. When I will solve these two equations, I will get that Ra will comes out close to 15.8 and Rb will be close to 25. So this would be my answer when I have considered the two equations, one from the force balance, another one from the deformation. So in this way you can solve different problems, and if you will see previous year papers, you will find such problems. However, the shape of the problem will change. You may have a single bar with two fixed sub end and one force at a distance x from the fixed end. So the total length L will be given to you. So you have to apply two equation, one from the deformation and another one from the force balance, and you have to find the reactions at the two end. Similarly, there will be a case where the beam will be stepped beam. Instead of having a uniform cross section, you may have stepped beam and multiple forces will act on the stepped beam, and you have to find the reaction or you have to find the stresses in the different sections. Once you know the reaction, you will be able to get the stress value. You can see here that in this problem, if I will get the reaction, I can also get the stress value. The stress value will be what? The reaction force Ra divided by the cross section area. Similarly, we can also get the strain in the first and second and third member. So this is all about a problem where we have to find the reaction and the system is statically indeterminate. I will request you to practice such problems. After looking the beams in series connection, let's consider a problem of bar in parallel connection. So here I am showing a composite bar where we are having two bars concentric to each other. The outer one is having elastic constant and cross section area E2 and A2. Similarly, in inner one is having E1 and A1. The relation between A1 and A2 is given. Similarly, for E1 and E2 is given, and we have to find the stresses developed in the two member in terms of the ratio of the two stress. I am applying a force P at the top. So here the first thing you should understand what philosophy you apply when you want to solve the problem of bars in parallel arrangement. What happens in parallel case, if I will apply the force P, both the bars are going to subjected equal deformation. That means the change in length, suppose after applying this force there is a compression in both the bars. So whatever change will be there for the first bar, the same will be for the second one. That means the change in length for the two bars will be same. This will give me the equation for the deformation, and I can write that the del L1 will be equal to del L2. In case of force distribution, we don't know how much force will be going to distribute in the outer one, similarly in the inner one, but this is fact that P is going to be balanced by P1 plus P2, where P1 is the force in the outer bar and the P2 is the force in the inner bar. So this is my equation from the force balance, and this is my equation from the deformation. So every time whenever you are having a structure which is statically indeterminate, and normally this is the problem asked in the exam, so we have to write one equation from the deformation, another equation from the force balance. So this deformation equation actually we can modify as the load in the first, length of the bar divided by the cross section area of the first and the elastic constant, and that is going to be balanced by P2L by A2E2. When I will rearrange this term, I will be able to get a ratio P1 by P2, considering this A1 by A2 is equal to 1 by 2 and E1 by A2 is equal to 1 by 4. So here is my solution, that the first equation I can take out the P1 outside. So this is my equation where I can put the P2 by P1, and P2 by P1 is 8 here. So my P1 is coming out P by 9 and P2 is 8P by 9. When I will take this sigma 1 and sigma 2 to get the stresses, this is my stress for the first bar and this is for the second bar. As I want to calculate the ratio this is my ratio and my answer is coming out 1 by 4. So in this way you can solve problems of bars in parallel. I am not showing many problems here, but the philosophy will be same, and I request again you should take a textbook and solve different examples for series and parallel connection of the bars. So my answer is what? My answer is 1 by 4 here. Let's take another type of problem. Here I am having a rigid member which is connected with the help of two bars or wires. Both wires are of different material and I am applying a force P which is not at the center. Instead of that, it is at a distance A from one of the wire. Here again I have two types of condition. In the first case, it may be given in the question that this rigid member remains horizontal before and after the expansion. So in that case, when I will apply the force P, both the wires will have some extension, but the change in length in both the wires will be same. So here I can write that my del L1 will be equal to del L2 and the P is going to be distributed in the two wires. So this is again the same problem. The equations are identical as we have considered in the previous case, and when I will solve these two equations I will get the unknowns. Once I will get the P1 and P2, I can calculate the stress and strain in individual wires. In the second case it may be given that the bar will not remain horizontal. That means both the wires are going to subject some force and based on their strength there will be different deformation. So the bar will not be remain horizontal after the deformation and it will have some angular position. Here I have to apply the concept of similar triangle because this is the deformation in the first wire and defined by del 1. This would be the deformation for the second wire, that is del 2, and I can take this similar triangle and this is let deformation of this point del. So I can write an equation considering this similar triangle. This length will be what? This length will be del 2 minus del 1. And this length will be what? This will be del 2 minus del. So using these two and the property of this triangle, I can write that the del 2 minus del is divided by A is going to be balanced by del 2 minus del 1 divided by L. So this will be my first equation. And from the force balance, again, I will get that the P1 plus P2 will be equal to P. So this is my second equation. Considering these two equations, I can get the unknowns for the second case. Let's take the last problem, which is again an important problem. That is the stresses generated in an assembly of nut, bolt and a tube. This is very important concept. The similar concept we are going to use further when we will talk about the thermal stresses. So let's understand this problem. First, understand the assembly. We are saying that this is an assembly of bolt, nut, washer and a tube. So here I have given expanded view that this would be nut which will come first on the bolt, then the washer will come and finally the nut will come. So this would be your final assembly, and what is asked, if I am giving some rotation to this nut, what will be the stresses in the tube and the bolt? Please remember, in the gate kind of exams you will not ask to solve a numerical, but conceptual problems will be there. In this problem the bolt is going to be subjected by the tensile forces, however the tube is going to subject the compressive forces. So this is a conceptual, this is a concept and we must learn this concept. Now how it is happening? When I will give certain rotation to this nut, the nut will try to move in this direction. That means if I will ignore the bolt portion, just consider the tube portion, what will happen? The tube is going to subject a compressive force because the nut is moving towards the left. And why? Because I am giving some rotation to this nut. So the tube will be in the compressive force. The tube will apply equal and opposite force to the nut, and that force is ultimately going to transmit it through the entangled threads of the nut and the bolt. Actually inside the nut there is a thread of nut and the bolt which are in contact. So if nut will have a force towards the right direction, ultimately that force is transmitted to the bolt, and this length of the bolt, not the entire length, the length of the bolt which is within this two section, one is the bolt end, another one is the washer, is actually going to subject a tensile force. So the bolt will have some extension in the length At the same time, the tube will have some reduce in the length. And if the total movement of the nut is, let's del is what? The motion of the nut is moving with an amount del towards the left, so that will be the summation of deformation in the two member, means the reduce in the length of the tube and increase in the length of the bolt. So this would be my equation. From the gate point of view, what is important here? The important thing, this equation, then the nature of stresses. Bolt is going to subject tensile stress and the tube will have the compressive stress. The force equation, then when the system will in static equilibrium, suppose I have given some rotation, there will the extension has happened in both the members. Now the system will have some forces equal and opposite. The tube is applying P force on the nut, so the nut will apply P force on the bolt. So the force in the bolt and the force in the tube will be same. This is my second equation. This is from the force and this is from the deformation. So these two equations will important here to find the required unknown. And here if you will read the statement, it is saying that we are giving 1/4 rotation and the pitch is given. So we know that once I will give 1/4 rotation, the nut will move by 1/4 of the pitch. That means the total movement of the nut is given as 2 mm. 2 mm is going to be balanced by the force in the bolt length of the bolt divided by the cross section and E of the bolt, and then I will have the force in the tube, but I know that both the loads are same, so I can write it as PB L tube divided by AE of tube. Solving this equation, I will get the force in bolt and the tube, and then I can use these forces to find the stresses in nut and bolt. So with this last example, I am closing my today's session. We have seen some 4 or 5 types of problem: statically indeterminate structure, as well as the parallel bars, and lastly the nut bolt system. So please practice these problems. Also try to attempt other kinds of problems for your preparation. So thank you.